All right, so let's bring in Peter Doran. He's adjunct senior fellow at the Nonpartisan Foundation for Defense of Democracies. Welcome this morning. We just saw Witkoff there insistent that there is a path to peace between Ukraine and Russia. Both reportedly have stated they are open to a peace deal with, of course, what they want in that deal. So what in the world is going on here? Because we hear both sides talking about peace. We hear President Trump and the Trump administration say they're hopeful, but yet we see this violent attack. And a lot of people at home are wondering, well, where do these talks actually stand?
Well, that's right. The bad news here is that peace in Ukraine is still a very long way off. Vladimir Putin continues to answer President Trump's olive branches with violence. Putin is saying, I don't negotiate peace, I dictate it. Fanchen, the brutality that we saw on Russia's Palm Sunday attack, where Russia attacked Ukrainian Christians as they were commemorating one of the most holy days on the Christian calendar, well, that attack was so callous, cruel, and deliberate enough that it even jolted figures inside Trump's circle. We saw shocked reactions from officials like General Keith Kellogg in Ukraine and Richard Grenell, who is very close to President Trump. You know, frankly, I think it's surprising that Putin can surprise anyone at this point. He responds not to soft diplomacy, but to strength. And right now, the White House is only using soft diplomacy to negotiate with him at the peace table.
It's interesting because as you were saying that, the two questions came to mind, and I'm wondering if people at home are wondering this too. First of all, are these guys serious about peace? When I say these guys, I mean Russia and Ukraine. Are they serious about peace? And if so, what is Vladimir Putin's messaging that he's trying to achieve by continuing some of this violence in Ukraine? You know, to be fair, they've hit back at Russia too during these talks. So it just looks confusing. The optics of it looks confusing for the average person, understanding that when there are negotiations going on like this, we are not going to get a lot of the details.
That's right. And it would be helpful if the White House gave us more than just a few sound bites from Special Envoy Witkoff, who goes on Hannity and talks to other journalists. It would be good to have a better sense of exactly what the Russians are saying. But let's step back and remember, we are now 30 days into a peace process that the Ukrainians agreed to without conditions. And in those 30 days, Russia has launched against Ukrainian civilians 70 ballistic missiles, 2,200 suicide drone attacks. This is not the signaling that you'd want to see from one side, Russia, that truly wants peace. And like I said, Putin is trying to communicate to the White House, I'm not negotiating, I'm dictating my terms. And surprisingly, Russia's terms include parts of Ukraine that they don't currently control. Russia wants territory that its troops aren't even in. This is not a serious negotiation. And what the White House needs to do now is to change tack, apply maximum pressure on Putin with sanctions and other means to show you don't have a choice here. You are going to negotiate in good faith. That's what peace through strength should look like.
Yeah. Well, one thing we all can agree on, no matter what side of the aisle you're on, is it's sad that innocent people have to lose their lives because people can't come to a peace agreement. So we will just pray for peace in the meantime and wait patiently to see how this plays out. Peter Doran, love your insight. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Joe?
Coming up,